was like slow.
Knows it after hours. Front seat after hours, sure who was through. Vision when it do, got them words too. Purple neon on the dashboard, city humming like a fridge. Lo-fi drums and late night tempo turn my chest into this bridge. All day I've been in costume, being on for every scene. Saying facts I feel you bro, while ignoring what I mean. Now it's just me in this cabin, yes, a shadow de papel. Just this gravel kind of vocal, saying things I never tell. Seat push back, my legs relaxing, tattoo veins around the wheel. Every time I let out quiet is um recibo do que eu sinto real. Ashland soft on black on soul, like smoke calm is losing speed. Every flake of conversation atingia não ter need. And it feels like a experiente finalmente virou pra mim. Ninguém mandando notificação, ninguém marcando hora aqui. Só o som do modo baixo perguntando sem pressão. Qual foi a última vez que você ouviu seu coração? Front seat after hours, 420 in my lungs. One low voice on sleepy chords, turning burnout into tongues. Bluesy tiring gentle showers, fearless off the towers. My words shake when I say I'm not that strong, that's after hours. I don't need a water cooler or Colega pint size. Just a smoky parked up Lambo doing therapy at night. I remember every moment I say yeah, I'll take that too. Stacking tasks igual Tetris, all unsorted in my view. Told myself I work the best quando tudo em cima de mim. Mas meu corpo foi quebrando devagar, daí eu vi. Now the only thing I'm lifting is o peso de admitir que eu não dou conta de tudo, que eu também sei desistir. Que às vezes eu só queria alguém fazendo por mim também. Que eu sonho com me conta sem eu ter que pagar além. When I whisper I feel lonely even when the chat is lit. Let it slip behind the snare like bique quase não se encaixe. If I had um nata suave logo em cima disso aí. That's that reflex from a lifetime of not trusting who'll see. Mas o vidro não responde, manda stick e não reage. Só embaça com minha fala e devolve sem chantagem. E o painel vira cenário pra um filme que eu nunca fiz. Onde eu sei falar tô mal, sem ser culpa de ninguém, só diz isso. Front seat after hours, quite 20 in my lungs. One low voice on sleepy chords, turning burnout into tongues. Blues guitar and gentle showers, fearless off the towers. If my words shake when I say I'm not that strong, that's how the hours. I don't need a water cooler or Colega pint size. Just a smoky parked up Lambo doing therapy at night. Maybe self-care ain't a weekend, isso me escala todo dia. Onde eu paro meia hora pra checar minha energia. Talvez não seja ferramenta, não sinal de má vontade. E chora dentro do carro é promoção de verdade. So I write myself a schedule no vapor do para-brisa. Segunda, 5 minutos de respira sem cobrança em cima. Terça dizer não dou conta se meu peito pedirá. Quarta em diante me lembrar que eu te mereço cuidar. If I'm worth the same respect that I keep giving, it's off-beat. Desce meu cérebro estranhando me colocar nesse si. If um pingo cai no banco e deixa mancha quase nada. That's the ink of new contrato firmando essa jornada. By the time o back termina, a rua fica mais vazia. Já rodei minha semana, verso a verso em poesia. Vi promessa que eu fiz só pra manter alguém de pé. Vi o tanto que eu me viro pra não ter que pedir me ver. I can fly, virou, mas posso reduzir jornada. Parar de dar hora extra pra quem nunca deu mais nada. Promover minha presença do rodapé pro cabeçalho. Fechar a porta do carro quando o assunto for meu atalho. When I murmur I'll go home now, but I'm bringing me along. Let it float over the bass like última cena de som. If meu passo sai mais calmo quando eu piso nesse chão. That's the front seat after hours, assinando meu perdão. Front seat after hours, quart 20 in my lungs. One low voice on sleepy chords, turning burnout into tongues. Blues guitar in gentle showers. Fear loose off the towers. If my words shake when I say I'm not that strong, that's at hours. I don't need a water cooler or collect a princess. Just a smoky parked up Lambo doing therapy at night. Chave gira, a luz acende, o mundo volta ao tom normal. Mas levo comigo esse coro falando baixo no canal. Se amanhã todo mundo precisa de você de novo, lembra que você também é gente, reserva um turno pro seu corpo.
Yeah.
Same road, same town, but I'm not the same driver. Gaslight almost empty, little warning in the dark. Every blink a tiny mirror, and you've been running with no spark. City glimmer in the rearview like a rumor I outdrove. Purple bruises on the skyline mountain, standing like they know. I've been pushing past my limit like that needle don't exist. Telling everyone I'm solid with a jaw I can't unclench. Now it's only me and leather, just this Lambo, just this haze, just this gravel sounding conscience, trying to reroute all my ways. Hoodie sleeps past both my wrists like I'm holding on to me. Tattoo lines along the wheel, trace the miles I didn't see. Ash float out the half-cracked window, vanish in the violet air. Every flake of bro I'm chill that I threw out while impaired. And that tiny amber icon feel like more than just a tank, like a check engine for feelings. I keep driving off the plank, I can hear it asking softly in a language made of light. Why you waiting till you're empty just to treat yourself as tired? Gaslight almost empty, 420 in my chest. One low voice on mellow loops, putting cope into the text. Blues guitar and quiet gentry, feel loose half its entry. If my words shake when I say I'm not okay, that's gaslight century. I don't need a big epiphany or a sermon to repent, just a smoky purple freeway and a gauge that won't pretend. Yeah. I remember being proud, I could run on almost fumes. Wear fatigue like diamond necklace when I stepped in crowded rooms. Calling burnout dedication, calling numbness I'm mature. Turning I can't feel my body into I'm built to endure. Now the tremor in my fingers, little twitch beside my eye. All the migraines I keep swallowing, all the sighs I won't let fly. I feel like messages from systems that I've ghosted for too long, saying we've been sending signals, you just label them as wrong. When I whisper I've been scared that if I rest I'll lose my place. Let it stumble off the hi-hat like a car that lost its grace. If I add it sounds pathetic, I should know I'm still enough. That's the voice that learned my value from performing when it's tough. But the dash don't call me lazy when I ease up off the gas. It just glow a little softer while these heavy minutes pass. And the lane lines don't start judging when my speed falls down a bit. They just curve along beside me like it's fine, just breathe with it. Gaslight almost empty, 420 in my chest. One low voice on mellow loops, putting cope into the test. Blues guitar and quiet gentry, fear lose half its entry. If my words shake when I say I'm not okay, that's gaslight century. I don't need a big epiphany or a sermon to repent, just a smoky purple freeway and a gauge that won't pretend. Yeah. Maybe strength is not in running till the engine start to seize. Maybe strength is pulling over when your hands begin to freeze. Maybe I can't keep on like this, it's not a sign you failed. It's the only honest language for a life that's gone off rails. So I trace a little message on the fog, a bit of glass. From now on we fuel the driver before taking on a task. We don't wait until we're stalling on a shoulder in the rain. We can stop at smaller stations when we first start feeling drained. If I deserve a full tank, not just fumes, it's off the beat. That's my self-respect, relearning how to stand on both its feet. If a tear drops on the icon, make it shimmer while it blinks. That's my body signing contract with the mind that drives it thin. By the time I hit the station, neon humming in the cold. I've been driving through my habits, watching all the lies unfold. Seen the times I wore exhaustion like a medal on my chest. Seen the nights I called it grind when I was scared to ever rest. I can't fix the years I treated res on living like it's fine, but I can choose a different tempo for the miles that still are mine. When I murmur, I will slow down when my soul first starts to ache. Let it ride along the baseline like a lane change that I take. If my shoulders feel a fraction less like armor, more like skin, that's the weight I left behind me with that gaslight blinking in. Gaslight almost empty, 420 in my chest. One low voice on mellow loops, putting coping to the test. Blues guitar and quiet gentry, fear lose half its entry. If my words shake when I say I'll rest, that's gaslight's entry. I don't need a big epiphany or a sermon to repent, just a smoky purple freeway and a gauge I won't pretend. Fill it up, click the nozzle, let the cold night kiss the chrome. But that low and raspy promise, ride along with me back home. If they ask me when I learned I can't live on almost plenty, I'll say Wiz late 20 train. With that gaslight almost empty. Yeah. With that gaslight almost empty. All the things I ignored sitting right in front of me. Glove box full of red flags, folded warnings in a stack. Little notes my gut been writing that I never mail back. Purple night on tinted window, city blinking like a sign. Lo-fi drums and hazy motion, let me sort them line by line. I've been saying it'll pass every time my chest protest, turning knots inside my stomach into guess. I'm just too pressed. Now it's only me and engine, just this Lambo, just this route, just this gravel sounding conscience, pulling all those papers out. Hoodie sleeves up to my elbows, hand reach over to that door. Find those metaphorical letters that I threw there times before. Ash falls off into the handle like some dust from hidden years. Every flake of this feels off, I drowned out with louder cheers. And I open up the glove box in my memory, in my mind. Find a pile of little moments that I swore were nothing. Fine, things I should've said were longer, times I should've walked away, signs that said you're not okay, bro. I kept laughing off his play. Glove box full of red flags, 420 in my lungs. One low voice on smoky loops, turning instinct into tones. Blues guitar in quiet drags, fear unpacking bags. If my words shake when I say I should've left, it's all them flags. I don't need to blame past versions or rewrite how each one said. Just a late night lane to read what's in this glove box full of flags. I remember every friendship where I felt like I'm on call. Every time they crossed the boundary and I labeled it that small. When they joked about my triggers, when they ghosted when I bled, I just folded that discomfort, tossed it where I never read. Same with jobs that paid in panic, same with loves that felt like tests. Same with nights my body screamed and I still canceled all my rest. Every it's not really that bad that I said to keep the peace was a letter from my spirit, stamped urgent, let this release. When I whisper, I've been training me to swallow every note, let it stumble off the hi-hat like a beat that's
just moving slow. If I had, I know they mean well, I'm just sensitive, it's cool. That's the script that kept me standing in the middle as that tool. But these creases in the paper tell a story I can't dodge. Every line a tiny witness, every sentence you need lodge. Here's a time you felt disrespected, here's a time you felt alone. Here's the moment you said chill when you should've just gone home. Glove box full of red flags, 420 in my lungs, one low voice on smoky loops, turning instinct into tongues. Blues guitar and quiet drags, fear unpacking bags. If my words shake when I say I should've left, that's all them flags. I don't need to blame past versions or rewrite how each one said. Just a late night lane to read what's in this glove box full of flags. Maybe wisdom isn't perfect, it's just listening when you flinch, giving weight to subtle tremors you've been calling I'm a win. Maybe love don't have to hurt first, don't need proof and scars and dust. Maybe I don't feel respected is enough to say I'm done. So I promise future me, I keep that glove box more in reach. I won't toss out every signal just cause conflict sound like leech. I'll stop trading self-protection for a seat beside the fire. Stop calling every half-warm welcome home and I require higher. If I can leave before I'm shattered, lands off beat against the kick. That's my feet relearning rhythm that steps out when vibes feel sick. If a tear slides down the dashboard mixed with ash and crumpled sheet, that's my grief for times I stayed where I was treated less than me. By the time the joint is filtered and the road goes dark and thin, I've been driving through the moments I dismiss my own within. Seen the jokes I let go by me that could deeper than I showed. Seen the hands I never shook goodbye when I should've left that road. I can't go back to those parties, can't redo those heavy talks, but I can make different choices in the next few inner walks. When I murmur next time body says this ain't safe, I'll trust that cue. Let it glide along the baseline like new signage coming through. If my chest feel kinda safer, though the map ain't fully clear, that's cause I got one small compass. All those flags I saved in here, glove box full of red flags, 420 in my lungs, one low voice on smoky loops, turning instinct into tongues. Blues guitar and quiet drags, fear unpacking bags. If my words shake when I say I'll choose me first, that's all them flags. I don't need to blame past versions or rewrite how each one said. Just a late night lane to read what's in this glove box full of flags. Snap it shut, pull back the traffic with a slightly straighter spine, but that low and raspy lesson ride along each exit sign. If they ask me when I started treating this feels wrong, it's fact, I'll say one slow 42. Half a tank, full moon, quarter piece. Half tank, full moon, running laps above the town. Every rooftop like a pixel on the map of breaking down. Purple halo on the hood, mountain spine and silhouette. Lo-fi drums and lazy shuffle, keep my worries in the net. I've been spending all my daylight trying not to make a wave, swallowing opinions till my throat go hoarse and brave. Now it's only me and engine, just this Lambo, just this spin, just this gravel sound of conscious talking circles from within. Hoodie hood up like a bunker, brim pull low to dim the doubt. Tattoos wrapped around the wheel, trace the stuff I I don't speak out. Ash float up into the moonlight, then dissolve in silver air. Every flake I'll be fine, I toss instead of saying scared. And the fact I'm still up driving when the world done called it quits is the proof there's conversations that I dodge in crowded bits. So I let the high beams tunnel through the questions in my chest, like who takes care of you, my dude, when you not giving all your best? Half tank, full moon, 420 in my veins. One low voice on muted loops, stepping out of hidden chains. Blues guitar and smoky bloom, feel a bit more room. If my words shake when I say I'm not okay, that's half tank tune. I don't need a flawless answer or some prophecy by noon. Just a lonely curving back road with a half tank and full moon. I remember cheap apartments with the ceiling leaking slow, where I swore that once I made it, all this hurt would have to go. But the commas didn't cure it, only changed the neighborhood. Still the same old overthinker in the leather seat, that's good. Now the dash look like a cockpit, but my thoughts still underfunded. All the compliments I'm giving feel like bills I never wanted. Every bro you really carried us just add on to the weight, like a medal made of granite wrapped in thanks, you're really great. When I whisper I feel guilty, taking breaks when I'm in pain. Let it wobble off the snare like wiper blades against the rain. If I had a weakest dome, I know I shouldn't feel this way. That's the script that says my needs ain't worth the text on any day. But the moon don't run a ledger on the times I gave too much. It just flood this tiny cabin with a cold but gentle touch. And the fuel gauge doesn't shame me for not running to the red. It just tell me what I'm running on before the engine's dead. Half tank, full moon, 420 in my veins. One low voice on muted loops, stepping out of hidden chains. Blues guitar and smoky bloom, feel a bit more room. If my words shake when I say I'm not okay, that's half tank tune. I don't need a flawless answer or some prophecy by noon. Just a lonely curving back road with a half tank and full moon. Maybe balance ain't dramatic, it's a quiet little choice. Saying no, I can't tonight, with a small but steady voice. Maybe rest is not a bonus you collect when work is done. It's a bill that's due regardless whether you impress someone. So I write myself a curfew on the fog inside the glass. After this amount of energy, you stop, you let it pass. You don't wait till you're in crisis, you don't bleed out to be kind. You can love them and say can't at the same time. Change your mind if I deserve to stop before I break, it's off the beat. That's my inner time of learning something softer with deceit. If a tear runs down the window, split the moon into a smear. That's the line between survival and a life I wanna steer. By the time the needle hovers just above the empty mark, I've been driving through my habits like a city after dark. Seen the late replies I send myself to calls I never make. Seen 100 I got you post with no who got me in the take. I can't pay back every moment that I ride my own reserve, but I can slow down this motor when my nerves don't have the nerve. I can plan to leave the party when my chest first feels too tight. Not an hour after meltdown in the bathroom, out of sight. When I murmur, I will notice when my hands begin to shake. Let it float along the kick like first raindrops before a break. If my breathing find a rhythm that don't trip on every tune, that's my system sinking gentle with this half tank and full moon. Half tank, full moon, 420 in my veins. One low voice on muted loop, stepping out of hidden chains. Blues guitar and smoky bloom, feel with a bit more room. If my words shake when I say I slow it down, that's half tank tune. I don't need a flawless answer or some prophecy by noon. Just a lonely curving back road with a half tank and full moon. Turn it back toward the city where the schedule started at 8. Put that low and horse reminder, stay like ink beneath my fate. If they ask me when I learned I ain't a machine immune, I'll say one slow 420 night with half a tank and a full moon. tank, full moon. Half tank. Half tank, full moon, running laps above the town. Every rooftop like a pixel on the map of breaking down. Purple halo on the hood, mountain spine and silhouette. Lo-fi drums and lazy shuffle, keep my worries in the net. I've been spending all my day like trying not to make a wave. Swallowing opinions till my throat go hoarse and bray. Now it's only me and engine, just this Lambo, just this spin, just this gravel sounding conscious, talking circles from within. Hoodie hood up like a bunker, brimful low to dim the doubt. Tattoos wrapped around the wheel, trace the stuff I don't speak out. Ash float up into the moonlight, then dissolve in silver air. Every flicker, I'll be fine, I toss instead of saying scared. And the fact I'm still up driving when the world done called it quits is the proof there's conversations that I dodge in crowded bits. So I let the high beams tunnel through the questions in my chest, like who takes care of you, my dude, when you not giving all your best. Half tank, full moon, 420 in my veins. One low voice on muted loose, stepping out of hidden chains. Blues guitar and smoky bloom, feel with bit more room. If my words shake when I say I'm not okay, that's half tank tune. I don't need a flawless answer or some prophecy by noon. Just a lonely curving back road with a half tank and full moon. Yeah. I remember cheap apartments with the ceiling leaking slow, where I swore that once I made it, all this hurt would. Yeah. High beams, low expectation for myself. Crime beams, low effort, neon stony cone, yeah. Bluesy haze and bracelet, the high flow, yeah. High beams, low apps, low caption, amps on a highway in my sight. Every sign a gentle warning, I've been pushing out a light. Purple bruises on the skyline, city glitter in the rear. Lo-fi drums and lazy patterns keep my demons in first gear. I've been running on, it's cool when it's anything but that. Acting unbothered in the group chat, dropping jokes to dodge the facts. Now it's only me and leather, only engine, only smoke. Just this gravel sounding story that's been stuck inside my throat. Hoodie hood up like a curtain, brim pulled down to hide my stare. Tattoo veins along the wheel, trace the roots I never share. Ash drift out the cracked up window, catch the wind and disappear. Every flake of yeah, I got it that I said while full of fear. And it's wild how small the pressure looks from up here where I ride. All the goals that used to own me shrink to dots along the side. I can finally hear me asking what I never let me ask. Why you only show yourself when you in savior or in mass? High beams, low expectations, 420 we in my chest. One low voice on mellow loops, putting honesty to test. Blues guitar and rough translation, fear and softer stations. If my would shake when I say I'm not that strong, that's expectations. I don't need a standing ovation or some modern French phrase, just a smoky strip of asphalt and these high beams on my way. Hey. I remember younger versions thinking work was something earned, like a trophy from the heavens every time I crash and turn. If I suffered and stayed quiet, I was noble, I was real. If I said I wasn't coping, I'd be selfish with my feel. Now the math don't seem that holy with my hands still stuck on 10. White knuckled around a life I never stopped to live within. I can feel my shoulders throbbing from the weight I never dropped, like my spine became a hanger for the problems I adopt. When I whisper I'm exhausted being strong when all the time, let it wobble off the hi-hat like a rhyme that lost its rhyme. If I had a cracked up chuckle, guess I'm weak for feeling that. That's the script that told me softness meant I'd never bounce right back. But the road don't echo judgment, only hums beneath the flame. And the dash don't flash a warning saying feelings not your lane. So I let that line stay naked, let it tremble in the air. Let the truth be slightly ugly instead of perfectly prepared. High beams, low expectations, 420 in my chest. One low voice on mellow loops, putting honesty to test. Blues guitar and rough translations,
softer stations of my words shake when I say I'm not that strong. That's expectation. I don't need a standing ovation or some motivational phrase, just a smoky strip of asphalt and these high beams on my way. Maybe winning isn't flawless, maybe progress isn't steep. Maybe rest is not a failure, maybe tears are not too deep. Maybe average ain't a soap when you've been in overdrive. Maybe peace is hitting cruise instead of barely staying alive. So I talk into the darkness like it's HF for my soul. From here on, we're done with quotas that require you to be stoned. You can call it not so strong today without losing all respect. You can show the cracks in armor and still keep yourself connected. If I'm proud of you for trying, lands off beat behind the kick. That's my voice relearning phrases that were never in the script. If a tear falls on the emblem in the middle of the wheel, that's the ink on new agreement that my worth don't have to heal. By the time the joints of memory and the gauge leans close to E, I've been driving through the metrics that I used to measure me. All the grades and all the follows, all the nights I didn't sleep, all the times I called it hustle when it's really fear that's deep. I can't change the way I started, can't rewind the race I ran, but I can step out of rank and choose to be a different man. One who doesn't grade his value by the weight that he withstands. One who lets the shaky help me sit between two shaky hands. When I murmur, I'll allow myself to fail and still belong. Let it hang along the baseline like a slow and finished song. If my chest was strangely lighter, though the problem still exists, that's the load I left up here with all this purple in the mist. High beams, low expectation, 420 in my chest. One low voice on mellow loops, putting honesty to test. Blues guitar and rough translation, fear in softer stations. If my words shake when I say I'm not that strong, that's expectations. I don't need a standing ovation or some motivation phrase, just a smoky strip of asphalt and these high beams on my way. Yeah. Turn the lights back down to normal as the city pulls me in, but that low and raspy promise keeps on humming in my skin. If they ask me when I stop demanding, I'll be always best. I'll say one slow 40-20 drive. Yeah. High beams. Somewhere between my real self and my stage name. Highway between who I am and who I play for every crowd. Every lane a little distance between my whisper and my loud. Yeah. Purple smear across the windshield, city buzz beneath the wheels. Lo-fi drums and smoky patterns keep my two lives on their heels. Yeah. I've been living as a highlight reel in stories and in feeds, posting strength and clean aesthetics over panic over needs. Now it's only me and shadows, just this Lambo, just this mask, just this gravel sound in question. Who are you when no one asks? Hoodie hood around my jawline, rim pull low to hide my eyes. Tattoos glowing dashboard neon like footnotes to my disguise. Ash float out the tilted window, vanish in the violet air. Every flake of I'm that guy that hit the boy still living there. In this stretch of empty freeway, feel like neutral in my chest. Not the brand and not the breakdown, just some space to be a mess. I can hear my own name spoken in a way I barely know, like the government one hitting through the speakers soft and low. Highway between who I am and who I play each day. One low voice on smoky loops, putting persona in the fray. Blues guitar and faded glam, truth without the cam. My words shake when I say I'm not okay, that's who I am. I don't need a rebrand logo or a caption to relay, just a lonely strip of asphalt between my image and my clay. Yeah.
I remember first time numbers hit a level I ain't dreamed. Suddenly they knew my handle, not the story in between. Started talking like the character I wrote to keep them hooked. Turned my real pain into law, every fracture in the look. But the more they loved the costume, less I knew if I belonged. Was it me they really vibe with, or the mask I made from songs? Every bro you saved my life hit like pressure in my spine. Like if I ever drop the act, they see nothing but a lie. When I whisper I feel trapped inside the version that they praise. Let it stumble off the hi-hat like a car that missed its lane. If I add a soft, I'm grateful, I know plenty want to see. That's the part of me that thinks success mean I can't own defeat. But these lines don't care about follows, don't know stage names or the stats. They just measure distance travel from the boy inside these tats. And this cabin doesn't ask me for a hook or clever run. It just give me 50 miles where I can say I'm not the song. Highway between who I am and who I play each day. One low voice on smoky loops, putting persona in the fray. Blues guitar and faded glam, truth without the cam. If my words shake when I say I'm not okay, that's who I am. I don't need a rebrand logo or a caption to relay. Just a lonely strip of asphalt between my image and my clay. Yeah. Maybe art ain't meant to cage you in the first song that they love. Maybe growth is letting new scars and I stay airbrushed from above. Maybe fans can hold complexity if I let them see it clear. Maybe, I'm having flashbacks, can rhyme fine with we out here. So I speak the future stages through this moon a little lane. Don't just rap about being numb when you still tremble in the rain. Don't just flex the wins and trophies, show on nights you almost quit. Let them know the face behind it got some cracks you won't omit. If I deserve to be a person, not a product, hits off beat. That's my blueprint getting redrawn in this raw recline front seat. If a tear slides off my jaw and hit this hoodie with a stain, that's the merger brand and human finally entering the frame. By the time the roach is amber and the exit signs appear, I've been driving down the middle of two lives I keep in gear. Seen the times I lied in verses just to match the vibe they crave. Seen the times I told the truth and hit delete to still behave. I can't promise I'll be open in each interview they run, but I know I got this highway where I'm neither less nor the one. When I murmur, I let pieces of the real me touch the stage. Let it glide along the baseline like a script I slowly change. If my chest feel kinda calmer though the pressure's still the same, that's the weight I left out here between the person and the name. Highway between who I am and who I play each day. One low voice on smoky loops, putting persona in the fray. Blues guitar and faded glam, truth without the cam. If my words shake when I say I'll show up real, that's who I am. I don't need a rebrand logo or a caption to relay. Just a lonely strip of asphalt between my image and my clay. Turn back toward the neon billboards with my alias and lights. Put that low and raspy promise ride beneath each show at nights. If they ask me when my verses started feeling less like play, I say one slow 420 drive on the highway tween portray.
Took the long purpose. Yeah. Highway exit for my feelings. Whole lane lit and faded blue. Every sign a little question, asking what's the point of view. Purple sky like bruised emotion, hanging over mountain lines. Lo-fi kicking lazy pulses, let me organize my mind. I've been living like a playlist on repeat for everyone. Always bro, you say my my night, never asking how you done. Now it's only me and leather, just this ashtray and this wheel, just this gravel scratchy diary that I barely let me feel. Hoodie bunched up on my shoulders, brim pulled down to dim the shame, tattoos wrapped around the steering like footnotes on every name. Ash drift out the cracked up window, then dissolve in purple smoke. Every flake of yeah, I'm straight, that I said instead of broke. And this exit got no number, just a patch of quite a road, where the questions dry behind me and my chest can slow the load, where the only how you doing coming through the speakers is from the voice inside I mute when I'm performing happiness. Highway exit for my feelings, 420 in my chest, one low voice on mellow loops, giving honesty a test. Blues guitar and soft revealing fears I've been concealing. If my words shake when I say I'm not alright, that's feelings peeling. I don't need a destination, don't need any grand revealing, just a smoky piece of asphalt as a highway exit for my feelings. I remember every season I was, you could count on me. Turn my phone into a lifeline, turn my heart to EMT. Sat in parking lots till sunrise, talking people off the ledge, then drove home with shaky fingers, no one talking to my edge. Now the only siren blaring is the check engine inside. All the later, I'll take care of you, collected, amplified. I can hear the little boy voice saying, yo, I'm scared of life. I can hear the tired grown man mumble, yeah, me too, you right. When I whisper, I feel jealous of how simple they all seem. Let it slip behind the snare like I just jumped a broken beam. If I add a crooked chuckle, guess I'm petty, never mind. That's a shame that keeps my truth on do not call and left behind. But the night don't change the subject, it just hold me in this bend. And the guardrail doesn't flinch when I confess what I pretend. So I park beneath this overpass and let the motor barely hum. Let the silence be the therapist these verses need. If how we exit for my feelings, 420 in my chest, one low voice on mellow loops, giving honesty a test. Blues guitar and soft revealing fears I've been concealing. If my words shake when I say I'm not alright, that's feelings peeling. I don't need a destination, don't need any grand revealing, just a smoky piece of asphalt as a highway exit for my feet. Maybe strength ain't in the throttle, maybe strength is in the brake. In the moment you say hold up, I'm the one who's about to break. Maybe brave is not I got you, maybe brave is I need help. Maybe love is equal measure, not me emptying myself. So I send myself a message on the fogged up windshield glass. From now on you get a vote before you promise what you'll pass. You can say I'm not available, can say today I'm weak. You can ask for steady hands when it's your turn, feel bleak. If I deserve the kind of care I always give, it's off the beat. That's cause me and self and passion never really used to meet. If a tear run down the panel, blur the mileage in the dash, that's just time saying you earned this little detour from the crash. By the time the roach is tiny and the gas light glowing faint, I've been driving through the portraits of the times I played the saint. Seen the halos I imagined, seen the burnout in my skin, seen the nights I almost vanished just so they could all still win. I can't change those older chapters, can't resist what's already read, but I can rewrite the ending where I'm left alive instead, where the hero leaves the movie with a pulse and place to heal, where the credits roll on someone who can say what's real they feel. When I murmur I'll come back here when I start to drown again. Let it hover on the bass like a reminder, not if when. If my chest feel weirdly lighter as I merge back to the main, that's the weight I drop by taking this small exit off the strain. Highway exit for my feelings, 420 in my chest, one low voice on mellow loops, giving honesty a test. Blues guitar and soft revealing fears I've been concealing. If my words shake when I say I'll choose me too, that's wounds and sealing. I don't need a destination, don't need any grand revealing, just a smoky piece of asphalt as a highway exit for my feelings. Signal on back to the freeway where the deadlines start to press, but that low and gravel chorus right along beneath the stress. If they ask me when I learn my heart deserves its own address, I'll say one slow 429 taken.
different honesty tonight. Highway shoulders, heavy heart, purple bruise along the sky. Every taillight in the distance like a promise passing by. City sinking in the rearview, mountains hold the edges tight. Lo-fi drums and lazy circles keep my chest from taking flight. I've been answering, I'm chilling like it's written in my teeth. Smiling through a raw tsunami, breaking quiet underneath. Now it's only me and leather, just as jointing crooked wheel. Just as gravel in my vocals, saying what I really feel. Hoodie hood around my jawline, brim below to dim my eyes. Tattoo veins along the wheel, trace a map of all my lies. Ash float out the crack, the window, disappear in midnight air. Every flake of yeah, I'm good, that I said when I was bare. And the farther that I drive, the more the noise turns into hum. All the timelines and opinions blur to one slow distant drum. I can finally hear a question, I keep drowning out with art. Who's been holding you together while you hold the broken parts? Highway shoulders, heavy heart, 420 in my chest. One low voice on smoky loops, putting frontman to the tech. Blue guitar, soft restart, fear pull clean apart. If my words shake when I say I'm not okay, that's heavy heart. I don't need a painted ending or a quote to play it smart. Just a lonely stretch of asphalt and these highway shoulders hard. I remember younger seasons, I was call me if you break. Turn my phone into a lifeline, turn my sleep into the stake. Sat in parking lots till sunrise, talking strangers off the ledge. Then drove home with hands still shaking, no one checking on my edge. Now the strong one in the mirror got some cracks across his face. All the jokes I used for armor left a rust around the base. I can hear that tired echo in my chest like I'm not steel. I'm a human with some stories that I never let be real. When I whisper I feel used, but I signed up half the time. Let it stumble off the hi-hat like a rhyme that missed the rhyme. If I had a crooked chuckle, guess it's kinda on me too. That's the guilt that keeps me twisting every hurt to prove it's due. But the guardrail doesn't argue, it just rides along my side. And the dash don't flash a warning when my truth won't match my pride. So I let the words land ugly, let them clutter up the cab. Let the silence be the witness while I peel back every scab. Highway shoulders, heavy heart, 420 in my chest. One low voice on smoky loops, putting frontman to the test. Blues guitar and soft restart, fear pull clean apart. If my words shake when I say I'm not okay, that's heavy heart. I don't need a painted ending or a quote to play it smart. Just a lonely stretch of asphalt and these highway shoulders, Lord. Maybe love is not a paycheck that you earn by staying tough, not a scoreboard of disasters where you never say enough. Maybe no is not betrayal, maybe yes can be abuse, when you hand it out on empty just to keep the same old truth. So I write a different contract on this fogged up bit of glass. From tonight you don't say always when your strength ain't gonna last. You could say I can't right now, bro, you could say I need a hand. You could let the ones who swear they love you meet you where you stand. If I matter when I'm fragile, lands are beat against the kick. That's my nervous system flinching at a truth it never picked. If a tear hits on the leather, blur the emblem on the wheel. That's the ink on new agreement that my hurt deserves to heal. By the time the road is tiny and the gauge leans close to E, I've been driving through the chapters I don't show on any feet. Seen the nights I kept on giving when my body begged to stop. Seen the times I played the hero, then went home and let me drop. I can't bill them for the decades, can't reclaim what's overdue, but I can't protect the seasons that I still got left to do. When I murmur I will choose me, even if they call it weak. Let it glide along the baseline like a vow I barely speak. If my chest feels slightly lighter as the city lights restart, that's the weight I left behind me on these highway shoulders hard. Highway shoulders, heavy heart, 420 in my chest. One low voice on smoky loops, putting frontman to the test. Blues guitar and soft restart, fear pull clean apart. If my words shake when I say I'll choose me too, that's heavy heart. I don't need a painted ending or a quote to play it smart. Just a lonely stretch of asphalt and these highway shoulders hard. Merge back in with all the chaos, all the bro you good on loop. But that low and raspy chorus stay beneath these tired group. If they ask me when I stop putting my needs at the last part, I'll say one slow 20 drive on some highway heavy heart. Highway heavy heart. just for me. If you're hearing it, I probably hit a blow by mistake.
Midnight drift, voice memo, whole car like a record boot. Every street an empty waif, I'm waiting for my crooked truth. Purple towers in the distance, hum like reverb in the sky. Lo-fi kicks and dusty snares, keep my heartbeat riding shy. I've been leaving all my feelings innocent notes on my phone. Paragraphs I never share cause I'm afraid they sound alone. Now it's only me and engine, only moon on tinted glass. Just this gravel faded tone, trying to say what never passed. Hoodie sleeves over my knuckles like I'm hiding every word. Tattoos peeking through the cotton like subtitles rarely heard. Asphalt slow beside the shift, the tiny islands in the dark. Every ember like a thought I almost said then pulled apart. And this midnight drift type playlist say just float and let it be. There's a line about unfinished prayers that feels made for dudes like me. Truth and tone, blues in my step. I don't talk much, record alone. Every verse I have completed, little prayer I call my own. Midnight drip, voice memo, 420 in my lungs. One low voice on smoky, loose, turning unsaid into tongues. Blues guitar and slow falsetto, thoughts and shaky echo. If my words shake when I say I need someone, that's his demo. I don't need a full production or a crowd to call it gold. Just a late night lane and courage for this memo to unfold. I remember almost sending, yo, I'm not okay tonight. Backspaced every single letter, turned I'm drowning in the height. Posted stories from the wheel with some random caption line. Hid the fact my ribs are rattling like loose change in a shrine. Now the only thing I'm typing is this verse in smoky air. Every bar a little sentence that I wish someone would share. But I'm saying it to witness number one to do this here. If I can't admit it in word, how they ever volunteer? When I whisper I'm ashamed that I've been scared to need a hand. Let it trip behind the snare like a cable in the band. If I had a week it's corny, I know grown men shouldn't whine. That's the lie that made a graveyard of confessions in my mind. But the road don't roll its eyes, it just keeps scrolling under tires. And this mix don't skip the track when all I'm spilling out is wires. It was built for late night cruising, slow reflections, hazy mood. Guess that's my exact prescription for a heart that's feeling rude. Midnight drip, voice memo, 420 in my lungs. One low voice on smoky loose, turning unsaid into tongue. Blues guitar and slow falsetto, thoughts and shaky echo. With my words shake when I say I need someone, that's his demo. I don't need a full production or a crowd to call it gold. Just a late night lane and courage for this memo to unfold. Maybe realness isn't pretty, it's a half tank on a hill where you talk like no one's listening, but you hope somebody will. Not for clout or validation, just so shame don't own the room. Just so I've been really lonely, ain't a phrase that tastes like doom. So I practice future phone calls in this vocal note tonight. Yo, I don't need you to fix it, I just don't feel kinda right. If I vanish when I'm struggling, that's a pattern, not a plan. I'm just trying to learn how not to hide when shit hit fan. If are you free to talk a minute, lands I'll beat in this song. That's my tongue relearning sentences, avoided way too long. If a tear streaks down the screen of my reflection in the dash, that's a watermark that proves these unsent messages can crash. By the time the road is tiny and the playlist loops again, I've recorded half an album nobody may ever spin. But I feel my shoulders loose and feel my jaw unclench a bit. Feel the weight of never said is slowly losing how it sit. I can't promise I'll upload it, can't say I'll let someone hear. But I know there's proof of life inside the shaky little smear. Proof that I can say I'm hurting without joking it away. Proof that maybe I'm worth answering when I call myself someday. When I murmur I'm committed to not ghost me when it's rough. Let it ride along the bass, I like the mix, just turn the cuff. If my chest feel almost lighter as the city nears the hood, that's this midnight memo working how I always wished it could. Midnight trip, voice memo, 420 in my lungs. One low voice on smoky loose, turning unsaid into tongues. Blues guitar and slow falsetto, thoughts and shaky echo. If my words shake when I say I need someone, that's this demo. I don't need a full production or a crowd to call it gold. Just a late night lane and courage for this memo to unfold. Save the file, hit the home screen, let the notifications load.
But that low and raspy monologue keep driving down the road. If they ask me when I'm scarred to me, laying on taboo. There's a talking to and voice slow, wouldn't live my day.
Miles above my problem, city tiny under glass. Every porch light like a Lambert, yo, they shape or drives no gas. Purple streaks across the windshield, mountains hold the sky in place. Lo-fi drums and slow procession keep my heartbeat at their pace. I've been living in a group chat full of you good, yeah, I'm straight. Dropping memes on every meltdown, song and game persevere weight. Now it's only leather creaking, just as joint in this recline. Just this gravel flavored monologue and never leave my mind. Hoodie hood around my jawline, brim polo to block the moon. Tattoo letters on the wheel, spin like records out of tune. Ash flowed out the half-cracked window, then dissolve in violet air. Every flake of don't worry, broke a folly saying ain't there. And for once there's no agenda, no roteiro pra seguir, só o som do meu cigarro e umas coisas pra assumir. Deixo a pista perguntar sem pressa, quase em voz de mãe. Você ainda sabe o que sente, ou só responde o que convém. Miles above my problems, 420 in my chest, one low voice on mellow loops, giving truth a little test. Blues guitar and hazy columns, fears that lose their solemn. If my words shake when I say I'm not okay, that's miles above my problems. I don't need a holy sermon, don't need life to solve them. Just a smoky mountain freeway, staying miles above my problems. I remember younger seasons, I was trying to be the rock, standing still for every wave até o tornozelo da nó. Thought the strong man never tremble, nunca pedi pra trocar. Só eu mordia cada lágrima até a voz começar a arranhar. Now my register is gravel, cause de tanto engulo e grito. Cada tô suave em falso virou dano no meu grito. Mas esse dano traz textura que autotune não duplicar. É o barulho das batalhas que eu devia ter deixado entrar. When I whisper I'm resentful, I've been last on my own list. Let it stumble off the hi-hat like a turn I almost missed. If I follow with tanto faz, tem gente muito pior. That's the guilt that always faz eu achar que eu não tenho dó. Só que a serra não compara, não tem ranking de sofrer. Ela só me dá perspectiva pra entender o meu porquê. E o painel não manda regra de quantas vezes posso errar. Ele só mostra que eu ainda tenho que caminhar pra rodar. Miles above my problems, 420 in my chest, one low voice on mellow loops, giving truth a little test. Blues guitar and hazy columns, fears that lose their solemn. If my words shake when I say I'm not okay, that's miles above my problems. I don't need a holy sermon, don't need life to solve them. Just a smoky mountain freeway, staying miles above my problems. Maybe strength is not I got this, maybe strength is I'm not sure. Maybe brave is not I'll fix you, it's I'd like to feel secure. Maybe love is not só dar, mas deixar entrar também. Talvez paz não é silêncio, é falar hoje o que preciso vem. So I send a little prayer through the moonroof with this haze. Teach me how to keep my heart when todo mundo quer meu brace. Teach me how to say I'm empty sem ter medo de perder. Teach me how to stay comigo quando o resto não entender. If I put me in the equation, lens off beat against the kid. That's my algorithm, quebrando do costume tóxico antigo. If a tear hits on the leather, blur the logo while I steer. Testa ink assinando embaixo que eu tô me levando a sério aqui. By the time the roach is nothing, é no tanque quase enfim. I've been driving through the chapters I would never show no feed. Vi promessa que eu quebrei, vi promessa que quebraram. Vi os dias que eu fiquei, as noites que me largaram. I can't change o que passou, mas posso negociar daqui. Classe 1, eu não me abandono pra ninguém ficar feliz. Classe 2, se a minha voz falhar eu não vou mudar de vez. Classe 3, se eu disser que doeu, eu acredito em mim outra vez. When I murmur, I choose me. Before I jump, pra te salvar. Let it ride along the baseline. Like a lane I wanna atravessar. If meu peito fica leve mesmo sem problema, it importa. That's just proof que a altitude fez a alma respirar agora. Miles above my problems. 420 in my chest, one low voice on mellow loops, giving truth a little test. Blues guitar and hazy calling fears that lose their solemn. If my words shake when I say I'll be okay, that's miles above my problems. I don't need a holy sermon, don't need life to solve them. Just a smoky mountain freeway staying miles above my problems. Desço de volta pra cidade, com os pedidos e os sinais. Mas aquela voz rouca interna vai comigo nos pedais. Se alguém pergunta quando foi que eu parei de me deixar por último, eu respondo numa noite roxa, dirigindo longe de tudo.